Okay, so when you are asked for personal information, first make sure that you need to give that personal information. Is it for a job application? Is it for a doctor's visit? All those things are fine. And if your parent's with you, obviously. There are times where you don't need to give your personal information out, like to strangers, like that come up to you at the store or, knock on your door and ask you what your personal information is. You do not need to give personal information out to strangers. But in cases of like job applications and doctor's visits, that kind of stuff, then you'll probably need to give your personal information. What are types of personal information that someone may ask you? One is your name. So your full name is your first, middle, and last name. So, for example, my full name is Sherry Lynn Bowser. Most of my friends just call me Sherry. You guys call me by my formal teacher name, Mrs. Bowser. So, my first name is Sherry. My middle name is Lynn, and my last name is Bowser. So, I want you to think about what your first, middle, and last name is. Then you're going to be asked your address. So your street address is usually something like 123 Maple Street or 2228 Grass Road. Just making up something. That is your street address. It starts with some kind of number and it ends with the name of the street that you're on. The next thing is your city. So your city, for most of you, are probably Waldorf, White Plains, or La Plata. That is your city. Your state that we live in is Maryland. So some people spell out the whole word of Maryland, or they use an abbreviation, MD, for Maryland. Maryland is your state. Last is your zip code. Your zip code consists of 5 numbers. It's usually something like 20646, 20602, 20601, 20603. So it depends on where you live, what your zip code is. Another thing they will ask you is what your emergency contact person is. So that means in case something happens, like you get sick at work, who could they contact? Usually it's a parent. For my case, it's probably my husband. So you need to know what their name is. You can't say mom. You can't say mommy or daddy. You'd have to say whatever their full name is. So for example, for me, I would put Bob Bowser. And then you need to know what their phone number is. You can't use your home phone unless you know that they are at home. So it's always great to know your parents' cell phone number. We will practice that throughout the year. So please know how to spell your parents' first and last name and cell phone number. And another thing they're going to ask you is your birth date. So my birth date is December 25th. I'm not going to tell you my year, but it's 19 something. Yours is probably something like January 3rd, 2006. You can write that in different ways. You can actually write out the whole name, or you could say 2-3-2006. So there's just various ways that you could write out your birth date. The numbers with the slashes or the dashes are the easiest. Then you also should know how old you are. So are you 14, 15, 16, 17, or 18? So that is what you will find when you are asked for personal information. Your full name, your address, your emergency contact information, person and their phone number. You're going to be asked your birth date and how old you are. That's just a little piece of something that you might find on some kind of personal application or form.